Okay, good morning. Quick sound check, please. A little late. Thank you. Good morning. All right, let's go. The pre-market thieves are doing the deal. All right, that's pretty much why I'm late, because I was having to write it on the board. You know, 442.75, 443, that's an area of overhead resistance. Shorting it at the open is very tough. But this is the place of overhead resistance. Maybe they get to yesterday's high on a super spike. It's 444.60. They're in the zone right now. So trader's choice, you're shorting an uptrend, the whole conversation from yesterday, same routine. It's not easy, but they're not going to run away. They're going to go both ways today at some point. It's options expiration, quad witching, there's rebalancing, there's all kinds of stuff going on. But the thieves in the morning are doing the deal. They're up here. Take it for what it's worth. It's not for everybody, but there's something for everybody. And we'll just leave it at that. Can't control the fact that the pre-market thieves showed up. Conservative trader would wait for him to get around yesterday's high, create a zone between there and 444.60. More aggressive trader would say, I don't care. I'll just sell them here, and they go higher, I'll sell them again. You have to understand who you are. Does that make you comfortable or uncomfortable? If it makes you uncomfortable, don't do it. Later on, if they pull them back down, there'll be a buying opportunity. Just food for thought. If they get up to 444.60, and I didn't do the math, it's close. Maybe my number's a little higher, I'm not sure. But around 440, around a little bit above 444 is 4,500 on the S and the ES. Just big fat round number, just so you're aware. We got Zion, it's not that far away. We got Humana's below the first level already. And IAS has a big spread, so we can't tell. We'll see what we got. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Paul. That it's about 44. It's about 444, give or take, in that ballpark. Again, sometimes they come up short of those big fat round numbers. Sometimes they don't. What is that? No idea.
IAS opened above the first level and then just dropped below it. But that doesn't look like actual, like you could have taken it.
What in the world is this?
Zion opened above the first level.
All right, so the high so far in the spiders was 443.18. They're in the zone. That's where they were. Armand, my next number's up here, and maybe they fill the gap today or maybe not. But, one thing on the table today for everybody is there's a 3-day holiday weekend. Do you get a Friday floater? I don't know whether you get a Friday floater, a gap and crap. I have no idea. But a Friday floater would lean in the direction of the majority of time.
Humana opened between the first and second level, but it's not really trading yet.
All right. If anybody's short, you start thinking, listen, can they test the low, spike the low over here and rip it back up? Yeah, you got to take an exit somewhere in front of this low if you're short. And I know there are. And that gives you 5 to 7 points.
IAS is now bouncing back above the first level. It's giving you enough for a base hit, but spread's wide enough to crash a 747 max through.
Sorry, should have brought that up before. 1775 was the place. All right, let's take a look at SMH. I've got it up on the day. That's no good. No, there's nothing going on. SMH. No, it has to move in order for there to be something going on. It's not really falling. It's just opening. All right, so we have some profits going in IAS. I see them in the board. Nice job, folks. Dirk. Okay. Technically this one gave you, it's a low price stock, so it gave you the base hit. Rest is trader's choice. Okay. Small. That's why I don't like to put those low price stocks up, because the base hit is small. You have to buy a lot of shares to make it really worthwhile. And that's fine. It's just easier with the higher price stocks. They move better. All right, traders short, got to start thinking about an exit. Okay. They gave you everything you're looking for the scalp portion. Scalp portion, I'm going to call it over. Rest is trader's choice. Nice trade. Okay, we got any takers in the short? Let me see them. 10 points, Dieter. Nice job. 440.85 is really, below 442, below here. That's my next number. Okay. Nice job, folks. Good job, Jorge. Humana. Let's see it. Oh, you bought it in between. Okay. That's fine. Well done. 5 grand in Humana. How you doing? And here comes the short. Okay, so they're giving you everything you wanted. This is the morning trade. This is A number 1. 440.85 could be a bounce back in the other direction. Has to be another exit. Okay. Has to be another exit. All right, what do we got for shorts? I want to see it again. Job. All right, Paul. Nice job. You took care of that thing from yesterday, so I got to bill you today, though. Is that okay if I do it right now? All right, folks. Riding the wave. Risk-free, motionless trade. You got to exit around 441, give or take. Don't wait for them to get all the way there. If they're going to go, that's fine. You can get a bounce back. It could be a long opportunity as well. It's just this simple, right? It's this over here. This is where they broke out from on a short-term basis. So they're coming back to test it. If they get there, you'll likely get a bounce in here. That's the whole thing. All right, let them go. Shorts have to exit pretty soon. Another exit. You want to hold the trailer below 440.85. That's up to you. That's a bounce back in the other direction place as well. That's pretty nasty in the Qs. 28.40 in Zion. Thanks, Jorge. The other one pairs better, actually, if you haven't taken it. Not selling it to you, I'm just telling you. All right, showtime on Zion. Just about. There you go. Job, Gerardo. 10 points on the short. Well done. All right. Shorts should be basically out. If they go lower, so be it. But I couldn't hold it past here. There's a fair chance they're going to bounce. This was the trade, folks. This was the morning trade. Maybe another one coming up, but this was the morning trade. This is what we were looking for. This completes the week. Anything else is gravy. Zion's bouncing, trying to. The 85 is a give or take. Could be 80, could be 90, could be 87, could be 91. This is not magic. All right, showtime. Again, scalp with potential. That's all you're looking for right now. You're looking for 5 points, give or take. 5, 6 points, and then the rest you hold it. They gave you about 4. Should get a little bit more, like that. There's 5, 4.5. Okay, just protect it. Don't let this one go bad. You can always buy it again lower. In other words, they bounced, they gave you, 4.5 points at least, something like that. After the short, you don't want to play games. You tighten up the reins a little bit, certainly on a Friday morning. Okay, John. Okay, Sean, that's right. We have something for everybody. You didn't like the short, so you're uncomfortable. You took the long. It's fine. That's why there's something for everybody. Yeah, maybe a 10 o'clock jolt today. That's okay, Jerome. Thanks. At this point, it's not going to matter. All right, this trade scalp portion is over. Okay, nice trade. All right, we got profits on the long. What do we got? We got a twofer with Thomas, 15 S&P points, ES points. Great job. Nice job, Lee, Ron, William, Paul, Jerome. Well done. Jesus, Chris, the list goes on. Fantastic. Shaping up to be a know when to fold them kind of day. You can see the writing on the wall. John, 5 points. Steve, nice job. We'll worry about it if we get there, Jeff. Don't worry about it. Don't get jumpy. When you're looking for another trade around the corner, like right away, while you're still in one, while we're still in one, you have a tendency to overtrade, just saying. Not doing that to you, I'm doing it for you. I'm helping you have an awareness. You're looking for another trade right away. We're still in one trade. Nice job, Jack. All right, remember, Don't let it go. Don't let the remainder go bad. You can always buy it lower. The lower you could see on the board. Maybe they spike the low and they don't get to 439.45. 440 is going to be big spot. If they get down there, that's, 440 to 439.45 is the next zone. That's what we'll say, Jeff. But this one's not over. See how this area is, support. Why? Let's just go over it one more time, just so we're aware. Because of this area over here. They ran up here and they went sideways from 11:15 or 11 o'clock to 1:15 for an hour. Short-term chart, that matters. They had trouble getting through. They went up. They came back to test it. All charts act and react the same way. We talk about this stuff all the time. So they have to get above 441.50 to take another leg higher. Okay. Yeah, Paul, remember how I say don't put a stop in the system? You put a stop in the system and they came and got it. What do I tell you almost every day? Anytime anybody brings up, should I put a stop in? And I say, if you put a stop in the system, they're going to come and get it. So you fell victim to that. The only thing I could do is just explain it to you. I just can tell you so many times, you have to learn. Yeah, 10 o'clock jolt coming up. Half a minute. No, Sean, I think they were just testing an important place. And there you go. There's your pop. Another pop anyway. There you go. Yeah, I don't believe in that stuff, Sean. I believe in it. I just believe in the numbers more than that. I just use what I use and I don't really bog myself down in all that other hocus pocus stuff. Not that it's not real, but there you go. I like to say hocus pocus. So there's your secondary pop. Support. How you doing? They can get above 442. If they can get above 442, I don't think they got there yet. No, 89. They can get above 442, it's going to open the door back to the pivot. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Some Sally to customer service rep work. I'm here, I'm watching. Nothing to do now. Just if you're long, you stay long. That's it. We have traders holding long. Yep. Nice. Good. Zion. Starting to move. Anybody in Zion? Yeah, what I said, Jack, is if they can get above 442, then the next spot is 442.75. Okay, Chris. It might take some time. James, you bought it lower than the number, I assume, which is fine. Well, Ben, you would look for the 1% base hit, and then you hold the trailer. So let's say 65, for argument's sake. 28.65 would be an exit. They get high to 56. Should get 65. You're welcome. This is how, if I had to design a Friday morning, it would look like this. Nice and easy, no pain, something for everybody. You got a short and a long. Some got both, some got one or the other. A couple of stocks on the move. You pack it in and you let them float into the holiday weekend. You don't have to shop in the store all day. I mean, everything happened in 30 minutes. If this is the way you design a Friday, this is how you design a Friday. Am I crazy for thinking they're going to push to hit the round number of 445 today after coming up short yesterday? No, I don't think it's crazy at all, because if you get above the pivot and you start closing up there, they're going to run a test of the highs, and then it's not that far away. And who says they can't float up into the holiday weekend? So no, Michael, I don't think it's crazy at all. Not at all. Maybe they don't hit it, but can they get above the high from yesterday? Sure. Why not? Let's look at it in another way. Look at it another way. Is anything wrong with this? Is this just a little pullback in amongst the uptrend? Right? What's going on here? Little pullbacks happen, then they go up again. Pull back, then they go up. Pull back, then they go up. So until they break the chain, that's what's going on. Whether they do it today or not, I don't know, but that's certainly not out of the question. Friday floater, it's not out of the question. Don't know they will, but they can. You know, maybe another couple hours, go sideways for a while, move up later. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. There they go again, right? Zion will give you a 28.65. They should. They really should. Will they? Not 100% sure. Can't guarantee it. No refunds, but they should. I'm not sure what that is, Gerardo. Yeah, I told you not to short. Tesla came down for a day or so, but very tough short. Yeah, it's relentless, Will. I get it. That's why I kept saying it. Stay away from it. Oh, bigger than a trailer. Okay. That's fine. Oh, I got you now. I didn't get it right away. I was a little slow on that one, Gerardo. Now I got it. I got it. 442 is a showstopper. It's not going to stop the show. I'm just saying they got to stay above it. And then 442.75, the door opens, give or take. I mean, this is turning out to be a nice trade. Was that low of day? Did we short the morning high right out of the gate and low of day? It's possible. I hate to say it, but it's possible. If I say it, it's like a mush. Is the pivot resistance? It probably is resistance, but there's no short. Not now. I'm not shorting on a Friday after 2 trades on a floater Friday into the holiday weekend, dull tape. No chance I'm shorting it. 442 is resistance, I tell you. Yeah. They got to work through it. No, Lee, that would be called chasing. Even though you're trying to make it sound better than it is, but it's called chasing. I don't do it. There's some traders that add to a position as it goes higher. I can't do that. Just think of it like this. If I didn't have a position on, would I buy it as it goes higher? And the answer is no. So why would I add to a position as it goes higher? It's the same thing to me. That's the reason. But, to each their own. I don't want to raise my cost basis. You're going to get pullbacks, and then it's going to immediately first of all, you're going to do it when you can't take it anymore because you feel like you're missing a boat. And then you're going to do it at the wrong time, and it's going to immediately pull back, and you're going to regret it, and then you're going to make bad decisions. That's the way that one works. I would just stick with the plan. It works. Just keep doing it over and over again. Yeah, it's called an emotional FOMO trade. Right. Right. They're all emotional FOMO trades. All the FOMO trades are emotional, obviously. Yes, Ashley, you're trying to break the habit of chasing the market. That's why I talk about it every day. I'm trying to help you break that habit. You can't do it. It doesn't work. It's the reverse of the 80-20 rule. It works a fraction of the time. 80% of the time, 75% of the time, something like that. It's not going to work. I know from experience. All right, exits, at 442, I said it enough times. I'm assuming traders took something at 442 if they had to take, meaning if they had, multiple exits, yeah, I'd take 442. Back down at the lows of 440.85, give or take, not a great setup, meaning they shouldn't be down there if they're gonna have a floater. Keep it in perspective. The S&P is only up 6 points on the day, so nothing's going on and nothing says they can't come down again. You just don't let the remaining portion of this trade, and it's all remaining at this point, right? They gave you over 10 points on the bounce. So you don't let it go bad. That's it. Yeah, you're right, Shannon. I haven't used that term in a while. Trick, trap, fool, and frustrate crew. Yeah, they get stale after a while. I recycle it. Hasn't been a lot of tricks lately. Would I ever enter a long on this pullback? That would be chasing the market around. That would be looking for a trade just because I have to be in a trade because you're not in one now. The trade is from 440.85, anywhere in between. They're in the middle of a range right now. You don't know whether they're going to come down or go up. It's really the extension of the conversation we just had about chasing the market. If you're looking for a reason to get in right now, you have the feeling of FOMO. You can't have it. You have to shake it. You have to either take the trades as they exist or be comfortable with the fact that you didn't take it or you missed it or whatever the reason was, you walked away, and you just wait for the next one. If you're trying to get a piece of the one that exists, you're going to lose most of the time. Nice job, Carmine. And Chet, I'm helping you. Believe me, I'm trying. I'm not chastising anybody when I say this stuff, when you ask a question like that. I just want to drill it into your head, and I'm okay with doing it over and over again because it's going to help everybody. You're going to just eventually stop looking at that stuff. It's going to happen. You're just going to come to the realization that you either just follow along with the program each and every day, or it's not for you. And I don't want to be party to people coming here and doing things that we're not talking about, getting frustrated, and it's counterproductive and you're wasting the money here then. If you're going to be here, I suggest you try to follow along. And if it doesn't work for you after a month or two, you just can't do it, that's fine. But if you just do it, you'll see the results. There's no reason not to. Be comfortable with 1 or 2 trades a day, 3 or 4 trades a day sometimes. 62 high. Well, they didn't get to 65, so I ate my words on that one. It's close, but they got the 1%, didn't they? No, they didn't. No. Yes. No. I'm having a tough day. No, they didn't get 1%. Yes, they did. Almost. It's close. Maybe a couple pennies short. Yeah, I talked about this one last night in a video because it was brought up in here by someone that's not here anymore. And that person brought it up when it was like over here. And I said, no. I said, they're close, but they're not at the number. Some of you will remember this. And then I put out a swing trade alert when they got to the number. And I wasn't even aware of this at the time. Like I wasn't watching it. So thanks to that person, look at that. It's low priced, but percentage wise, it's fantastic. Let's see where it is right now. Yeah, it's up 16%, 15.93% in my account. We've already taken first profit. The rest is just a free ride. Yeah, great job, Sean. Yeah, it's a free ride, just free ride. The next exit may be a little aggressive because 715 to 720 is going to be some overhead resistance, but I'm going to hold this for a while. I don't think they're going to be down here anytime soon. That looks like a bottom to me. How about you? That looks like a bottom to me. And when you look at this on a monthly chart, for goodness sake, that looks like a bottom and a retest of a breakout area, doesn't it? Breakup candle low, couldn't get above, broke out, came all the way back down to retest it, worked on time, no less. I mean, this one was almost stupid. This one was like stealing. Lazy swing trader. There's not a ton of trades. I don't need a ton of trades. I get a lot of flack. There's not enough trades. Go somewhere else. I don't care. They're not all that easy, but that one was. Sean. That's just, they're not that easy. Usually they eat your guts out for a while. That's just the way it works. Okay, good, Jeff. So some of the stuff in both courses will become more and more cemented and evident, and you'll learn more about what you learned in those courses in here. You'll look at it even deeper and peel back the onion in a little bit each and every day in here to how this stuff really works. Look at the Qs. Bounced at their price, notwithstanding the first 15-minute candle is ugly, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes we get skewed by the short-term stuff. You know, even if this closes, is this a reversal candle or is this just a pullback in this tremendous uptrend? And because of the tremendous uptrend, you can't take this candle seriously just yet. Hey, Shannon, that's fantastic. Yeah. You took UCO when I took CO, which I still have some of. That's the same thing. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Right. And Goldman. Right. Goldman was fantastic too. Stevie H, I'm reading your post. Give me a second. Yeah. We talk about this all the time. So you've heard it because you're in your second week. So you've heard it a number of times. The options, I said it yesterday, the options, the same day expiration options are, and forgive me, a fool's game. Because, you know, if you bought it here with the same day option, you're fine. But if you were out of the money for a couple of hours before the bounce, or an hour even, it starts to melt away. The premium starts to melt away. And even if the trade works out, a lot of times you'll end up in a losing situation, even when the trade was right. And so what I've done is I've encouraged traders to look at the futures contracts, the MES for starters. And then if you get comfortable with the MES, which is micro futures, ES, S&P, then you can graduate to the ES, and it's a little bit different than options, but you take out some of the variable risk like the time premium. And a lot of traders that have looked at it have stayed with it. They're happy with it. I'm not telling anybody what to trade. I'm just suggesting that it's a better opportunity. So look at it. You decide. And that's the answers, Stevie. You're, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, you're trading a vehicle that's too hard to trade. You have to be right almost immediately, or else you get so far out of the money quickly that you're like, oh no, it's wrong, you sell it or whatever. It's just, you make bad decisions when that happens. Is there a special account? Yeah, you have to open a futures account, but you can do it with a minimal amount of money, and you go to the broker, whichever one you're using, and or if they don't have a futures account, most of them do, you find the futures account, futures broker. There's countless of them. And you open a futures account and you're able to trade the MES, the ES, the NQ, which is the NASDAQ, the Russell RTY, the Dow is the YM, and anything you want. Just get used to it with the MES. They're very small contracts. You could get used to it with 2, 3, 4 contracts, and you're never going to be risking a lot of money. I would look into it. I urge you to look into it. I don't recommend brokers, Chet. I just use what I use, and I've only ever used TradeStation over the last like 15 years, maybe more. So I can't recommend anything because I don't know them. You never open an account based on the fees. It's a factor, but you're interested in execution. You're interested in the platform. You're interested in to make sure they're a quality broker, not some fly-by-night, you know, out of the Cayman Islands. That's what you're interested in. And the worse the broker, the lower the fees, because they have no choice. There you go. SPY on the move. On the move. And this is what I was talking about, Armand, if you're out there with the Qs. I wasn't convinced they were just going to fall away. You know, the Friday floater effect with a 3-day holiday weekend sounds like hocus pocus, but by golly, if you go back and look, and Jordan maybe can run this somehow, how many Fridays into a 3-day holiday weekend end up, you know, floating up? I'm not saying that is going to happen today. I'm saying I'm aware of that. Yeah, by the way, we know that that's a resistance area because I said in the video and yesterday, 370 to 372. It's recorded. That is resistance. But I wasn't, after the short this week in the IWM, I thought about shorting the Qs up here, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to do it into a 3-day holiday weekend because I'll short it in the morning, and then they'll run up in the afternoon, and people will get pissed. So I just stayed away from it. I just left a good week alone with that one. Yeah, there's a reason for that, Sean, because they do it all the time. Not all the time, but enough. Correct, Armand. You're right. They weren't going to just waltz through that, even if they spiked it and stayed there for a while. It's such a huge area. But we also have, so this is what my thought process was. So just so you know. So I took into account the Friday. I thought about it long and hard last night. Should I short the Qs? You know, put out a swing trade, all that stuff. And I said, you know what? It was a great week. I got the short in the IWM in an uptrend, and I'm going to kind of take that one and say, I'll take the W. And the Friday floater 3-day holiday weekend, plus the fact that mid next week, we have the tinfoil hat event. Who's to say they can't, Monday's closed. Who's to say they can't go a little bit higher on Tuesday? And then we'll see what happens Wednesday. So I said, you know what? If they go higher on Tuesday, I'll think about it, but I'm going to leave it alone for the weekend. And that was my thought process. But a lot of it had to do with the short and the IWM that we just took. I don't need to, you go back to the well and all that stuff and a good week. I don't want to end the good week on a sour note. That's really what it was. Stevie, actually, the Lazy E-mini trader course, I used both the SPY and the ES. The MES actually didn't exist when I made that course, but it's the same thing. It's just 1/10 of the ES. So if you buy one ES contract, it's going to give you $50 a point, and your exposure is $50 a point on the other side. The MES is $5 a point. So you can get used to it with very little exposure, so you understand how it all works. But it works no different than anything else. It's just another vehicle. Think of it this way. It's 3 letters that you can trade along with the SPY at the same prices. And if you go down that road, we talk about it every day, almost every day. I'll teach you exactly in 30 seconds or less how to correspond the prices. When the SPY gets to its price, the MES and ES is at its price. It's just that simple. No, Will, we got our hands full here. There's no reason to trade the Dow. The Dow's 30 stocks. It's not representative of the market. I know it, trades almost the same most of the time as the SPY. And by the way, we don't need it, right? I mean, there's no reason to add something else to look at, to worry about where it is. Honestly, we got enough trades in the SPY. I don't like the Dow. It's never been my favorite. And at the same time, there's a good swing in the Dow. There's good swing in the SPY. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. I suppose I could look at it for swing trades sometimes. I just don't look at it for just no apparent reason other than I just never was in love with the Dow from a trading vehicle. I have a relationship with the SPY. I don't have a relationship with DIA or the YM. And I'm not just making that up. I understand the S&P way more than I understand the Dow intraday movement and all that stuff. So I'm going to stick with what I understand. Not to say I can't get used to it, but I have a pretty good relationship with the SPY. Right, Jason, thank you. Exactly. There's a method to the madness. There's certain stocks that I know when they go on the board in the morning that you'll see numbers a little far away, and a lot of times they don't get there, but sometimes they do. It's because those stocks have a tendency to move a little bit larger than they look like they're going to move in the pre-market. Like Dick's Sporting Goods is a good example. That one opens and it's a mover when it's moving. And so the numbers when you find in a stock like that are generally a little farther away. There's other ones like that. First Solar's another one. So I know the high beta stuff, and I know which ones kind of give you the screw job at the open. And so not that that's a relationship, it's just knowing the different vehicles, knowing the different markets, knowing the different stocks that is as much as you can. Just comes from experience. Be right back. 50, give or take, could produce a bounce. Don't know it will. Not suggesting, I'm just telling you that's a support area, give or take 441.50 down here. This is the quad witching options expiration back and forth. The morning trades are done. You're holding a trailer, that's up to you at this point. If they go lower, in between this low, 440 give or take, and 439.45 still would be another opportunity if they did it. Yeah, I was just looking at that, Shannon. I was just looking at it because I still have the option on, right? Profits were taken yesterday and it's still active. So you never know. Here's another example. 30, what was it? 38.55. So 38.55 was the entry. And when you look at this, you say, well, nobody wanted it down there. Look at this. It's falling away. It's going to go to zero. The banks are going out of business until they don't. And then they bounce. So we bought this. Nobody wanted it. Yeah, there's a chance they come down again. Right? You know, if you're still in a trailer, that's up to you. But frankly, nobody should be long at this point anymore. That's my opinion. If you are, that's fine. It's just up to you. I said before, coming back down to the lows over here, that wasn't good for the bull case. So if there's another opportunity, maybe there's another opportunity, 440 down to 439.45. Little temporary outage there. I had a little glitch on the internet there. Not sure what happened. I'm back. Well, it could be, Chris, but I just mentioned what the next opportunity would be. In other words, if you want to do that, that's up to you. I would only take the next opportunity if it presented itself in the price that I wanted. 440.80 down to 439.45, then you can do that. Gerardo's saying a lot, at least the last 8 weeks in this rally, you can find out. Find out what? I'm not sure. And by the way, Stevie, you don't need a course or any instructions to how to find out how to open an account. It's the same as any other account. You go to your broker, they'll have a link to open a futures account. You fill out the form, you send it in, and they approve it. And that's the way it is. And then you fund it. There's nothing to learn. It's just like any other brokerage account. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to stretch them out. No, not that one. A few minutes. All right. 3 to 5. All right, I'm back. Again, nothing going on. You want to have a discussion about something, that's fine. If they come down, maybe there's another trade. If they go up, they go up. Not looking for another trade. If they hand it to me, fine. Whatever happened to Zion? Ugh. A couple of cents short. Could be something. Remember, 470 to 472 was a huge, huge area. Remember in the Qs? Remember from yesterday and from the videos and from 10 other times? They retraced 3/4 of the way, give or take. That's meaningful. You had this pivot up here, 371.83. Armand and I were talking about it before. And it's just a tremendous area. You're not going to just walk right through it. Doesn't work that way. Large majority of the time. Questions, comments, complaints? Complaints first, please. Transport's flat, IWM down a little bit. Qs are basically flat. S&P's up 8 points. Dow's, up 50 points, which is the same as the S&P, up 8 points. It's quiet. The trader's tape this morning, it's not really a trader's tape right now. Not the ideal trader's tape this morning, but good enough. No questions, comments, or complaints, huh? That's interesting. Oh, you know what? Sorry, folks. I had scrolled up by accident and I didn't see the last couple of things come in here. So let me read. Yeah, sorry, Will. Same answer. The thing scrolled up and I didn't realize there was another 10 questions in here. I'm sorry, guys. Let me circle back. I'm going to first address, let's go, I have to go all the way back. Yes, Chet. The characteristics of a typical Friday are you get a morning rush, floater Friday, you pack it in early, you get your trades done and you go. Store's open all day. You don't have to shop there all day, same as any other day, but Friday tends to be a floater or at least not tradable most of the day. Most back and forth, narrow range, they float up, something like that. It's even less viable in the afternoon on Friday than it is any other day of the week, the large majority of the time. Okay. Yeah, I don't look at that stuff, Shannon, the VIX and all that. You know that. I'm not even going to address it. All right, so we'll get to Will with, I wasn't ignoring you, Will. I was just making a mistake. AMD, that's EMD. How about AMD? I got to use my other screens. I'll be back with AMD and Adobe real quick. On an AMD, you could see it pretty clearly here. They bounced away in front of it, but this is a gap. This is where they ate time off the clock, gapped up the following day, come back to fill the gap. This is some natural support there. And if they come below, this is a zone. 120, spike of 120, halfway in the zone. That could also bounce the tape, but I'm not saying you trade it today. I'm just giving you the answer. Let me get the other one done. All right, I got you some numbers on Adobe. There's nothing to do here. These are the numbers, but there's nothing to do. You don't know if it's going to go up or fall. I have no idea. If this is a reversal candle in the making, or if that's an hourly reversal, if this is a daily reversal in the making. Let's see the volume on Adobe today. It's not bad. Yesterday was pretty good and it's a good spike. Today's not bad. We'll see. Could be a temporary high. See this? It came down and they tried to recover and they failed. So, this is an important spot, but this whole area here, and it's a big stock, so it's a big number, a lot of numbers, but this whole area here is really where they thought about recovering and collapsed. So they've come back to test it. And by the way, rough draft, halfway home. I could see that just eyeballing it, right? Pivot high, pivot low, halfway home. It's funny how that works. The halfway home part was all this stuff, but this stuff was there before the halfway home part because you don't know halfway home until they make the low. It's funny how that works, isn't it? Yeah. So I think we learned something with that one either way. Let's see what else we got. If you're still holding, who asked that? Michael. If you're still holding and you're still in the money, you can hold it, but you can't let it go bad on you. You just accept what they gave you and you say, all right, it didn't work. Meaning the remainder didn't go up more. But at this point, they gave you the attempt at the pivot and they didn't get there. So you got to take that at face value. Thanks, Paul. You're welcome. What was the question, Brian? I mean, I can't go back and look. It's just it's too much stuff in here. I don't know where it is. Can you put it in again? Cut and paste it maybe or something? NVIDIA, Jerome? Let's see. What do you want to know? I mean, there's nothing to say. This is a parabolic move that will come to an end. Where? Don't know. There's nothing to do in NVIDIA. Can't buy it at the highs, and you can't guess that it's going to be the high. It's impossible. You just don't do that. So you leave it alone. Are the questions working? Yes, Will. I think that's from before. Yeah. Andy, D, Devin Energy. Let's see it. You're looking for resistance. So you're long Devin Energy. That's not for today, but 50.75. I don't know if they get there. No idea. 50.75, give or take. 50.50, 51. That's, see this? Okay. See this? This may need more time, but if and when it does go up, you'll have symmetry from this up move. You eat some time off the clock, and then you have another up move, 50.50, 50.75. That's symmetry. Okay? Devin Energy. You get below 49.50 and they'll fall again. Thanks, Grant. Nice job. How about done by 10 o'clock today? For the most part. Unbelievable. That's fantastic for a Friday, isn't it? Technically, this is a bearish thing going on. I mean, this is a big time breakdown candle on a 15-minute chart. The hourly chart, not so much. See where they closed? They closed up in this range from yesterday, near the highs from yesterday. That tells you this is bullshit. That's my take. They had an opportunity to fall already, and they didn't. See, sometimes take all the teaching and stuff that goes along with the technical analysis from anywhere you want to pick it. They'll show you reversal candles and they'll show you all this stuff. So they will show you, they'll call this something else. They'll call this, what do they call this? Somebody put it in. What's the technical term for this candle? Like other than reversal, they call it something. They have a name for it, whatever it is. And what they don't tell you is that on a day like today, it doesn't mean as much as if there's heavy volume and they had some follow through to the downside and all that stuff. Here, they're just going sideways at the highs. So the candle has less meaning. Why? Because the trend, it takes precedent. Who's to say they can't make new highs today? We don't know that. They can or can't. Okay. What did they do here? They filled a gap. So what? So a lot of times, some of those candles will fake you out. Engulfing, thank you, Larry. I couldn't even think of the term. Thank you. It was just, it could be exhaustion, Mark, also, but engulfing is what most people put in. Thank you very much. I just couldn't think of the term. I don't use those terms. I just don't. Engulfing candle, reversal candle. But you see how it was a fake out so far? And because this takes precedent. When you see a top being made, more often than not, after a candle that's a reversal candle, and this hourly candle isn't a reversal candle, but if it was, and it was a real top, you're going to get a big reaction from an important spot, which means you're going to get follow through to the downside. Well, you didn't do that. So it kind of reading the tape. Paul, I love that one. I almost said something like that before. I almost said the FU candle, middle finger candle, Paul says. That's right. Good hold, Michael. Is it correct that Tesla 258, 259, 258.80, 259 was support on the way down? Let's take a look. Yeah, I guess so. 259, 250, whatever. Spike at 259. There's your answer, Dima. Yeah, you got to stop thinking like that, Will. I can't emphasize it enough. You don't know that. The killer is the algos are pre-programmed at those numbers and levels to take action. At what levels? How do you know that? You don't. You got to stop thinking like that. I'm trying to help you. You got to stop assuming certain things exist that you have no idea how to justify or prove. If you can't see it and prove it, it doesn't exist. You don't need it. I'm helping you, believe me. Yeah, but what support level? Support is a generic term. My support or somebody else's support? Yes, Dima, nice job. You see what I'm doing, Will? You're saying stuff that you think means something. I get that. I'm good with that. I'm trying to help you, I guarantee it. You said yeah, the algos are programmed at support, at what they think support is. It's not always the same as what mine is. Sometimes it is. And are all the algos at the same price? Or do they have their own proprietary algorithms? And are algos, how many algos are even trading the S&P? Are they trading stocks? Are they trading everything? You don't know the answers to these questions. That's the reason I have this conversation. Yeah, but you don't know what their numbers are. So what difference does it make? All you have to do, and I'll go back to what we said a half an hour ago, just follow along. Forget all the stuff you're thinking about. It clogs the thinking. It's variable risk you don't need to be thinking about any kind of stuff like that. The VIX, the algos, their support, my support, his support, everybody's support. You don't need any of that stuff. Believe me. Less is more. There's a reason that phrase exists. Keep it simple. As simple as possible. It's hard enough. This is like the military industrial complex. This is like the same thing. There's so many things out there in the financial markets to confuse you. We talked about cottage industries yesterday. There's thousands of cottage industries within the financial services business. They're all designed to sell you something or sell you on an idea or sell you their version of whatever they're in, to talk their book. That's it. It's all bullshit. 95, 99, 98% of it is bullshit. Jerome, I don't even think about it. I don't even care. I have no idea. I don't even consider it. Are you aware of how far in advance they program the algos, or is it done by the big institutional traders to hold the market in a certain area? Is every one of them randomly different? Everyone is randomly different, and I don't have a clue. And there's no reason to even think about it because you'll never know. You could sit here and think about it for months on end and come out with the same answer you have today. Have no idea. Hence, don't even think about it. There are no algos. They don't exist. Who cares? That's the way I look at it. There's charts, there's prices, There's price action. That's all you need to know. I know it's hard. I know I'm trying to, peel away things that you're stuck on, not you individually, Jerome, or anybody else, but anybody. You're stuck on things that you've been used to using in the past, or you believe have validity because somebody said it, and you think that somebody is onto something. That's fine. I can only tell you what my thing is. And so whenever anybody asks me something that deviates from my thing, you get close to the same answer. It's bullshit. Because I believe most of that stuff, while it exists in their own little world for whatever they're doing, it doesn't help me. Brent, you have to beg for forgiveness. For what? For looking at that stuff or what? I'm not sure. But it's funny anyway. Yeah. Yeah, just the less you worry about that stuff, the better off you are. And I can't emphasize this enough. I say it all the time. I have done all this stuff. I have looked at all this stuff. Not that I've looked at algorithms, but I know what the result is of every single thing that deviates from what I do. I know what the result is. It's bullshit. It doesn't help me. It's 50-50 at best. It sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't, so I don't need it. I know what works. Listen, why do you think we come here every day and do the same thing over and over again? It's the same exact routine every single day. I'm looking for the morning trade. I'm looking for a pivot. It's from the pivot. It's to the pivot. It's whatever. I have my resistance. I have my support. We do the same exact thing every day. Why is that? Because it works. Why would I deviate? I know that I can get 1 to 3 trades a day in the spider, 1 or 2 trades a day in the spider, whatever, plus a stock on the mover, 2 or 3, whatever. Am I looking for any more than that? Why would I be? See what I'm saying? You can blame the algorithms, Will, if you want, but I'm here to tell you it's not really what it is. I know it seems like it. I know it makes total sense, and it's okay to think that way, and it doesn't hurt you to think that way because it doesn't really matter what it is. But remember what I said yesterday. I think the market, the spider, the Qs, any stock, commodity, I think it has appointments at certain places at certain points in time. And when you see a move coming and they stop on a dime at a number that I particularly have, for example, well, that supports my case. I just can't figure out how and why and when those things happen to make those moves. But the fact that the numbers work and the fact that everything's a fractal of something else, I know there's more that I haven't been able to uncover yet or uncork. And so it's the time component that's the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Esoteric. I've got a handle on a portion of the time component, but I don't have it all, believe me. Not even close. But that's what I think. So I don't think it's the algos. I think it looks like it's the algos, but I could say it's something else. I could say it's the big traders in the ES that are coming to the window with huge orders that are moving the market, and that's not an algorithm. And you and I couldn't prove one way or the other which one it is and which one it isn't. So therefore, why bother? And that's kind of my final point on that. No, it doesn't work like that way either, Will. Forget the algos. Just throw them out of your head. Just toss them out. You're hooked on the algos. You're right, Mark B. I'm reading your analogy to golf, and you're 100% right. That's why everybody's swing looks different, but at impact, they're all the same, right? That's exactly right. Everybody's swing is different, but at impact, they're all the same. The pros, that is. Makes total sense. That's fine, Will. I got you. I know, but you know what? I just want to drill home the point to everybody. It's not just you. I got it. Okay, Fab. Enjoy the casino. I like a good casino sitting every now and again. I used to. Haven't been in a long time. Hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, Kyler. It is a little hard to believe, isn't it? But that's a mush. Now you're going to have a down day coming up. Kyler says, I have a problem. I haven't had any down days after 4 weeks in the live room. And I remember when you signed up, Kyler, it was about a month ago. You stepped up. And, it is a little strange. People don't It's hard to believe. You know, I get comments sometimes on YouTube or stuff like this. How come he only shows the winners? He doesn't show the losers. And I do. You know, I talk about them when we have them. But the funny part, it's not funny, haha, but the interesting part is how many losers do we actually have in here? It happens, but not that many. And I say it every day. We're going to win most of the trades, but we will have losers. You can't win them all. But I know the majority of the time we're going to be okay. I know that for a fact. Yes, you're 100% right, Shannon. Places and times where decisions are being made in the market, once a decision is made at that location, it becomes an if-then. That's 100% true. That's a good way to describe it. And here they come, okay? 440 to 439.45, last trade of the day, if they give it to us. Call it 15. What's the low here? 17, 11. Just call it 15 for argument's sake. 440, 15, down to 439.45, give or take. That's the bounce back zone, okay? You got symmetry coming on right here. Yeah, Kyler, it's a jinx, it's a mush, but it's going to come anyway. You just have to be aware of that, and you have to be okay with it. You're going to lose one. It's just the way it is. I guarantee that. Can't guarantee you'll win, but I can guarantee you're going to have a loss at some point. That's a great job, Will. 7,500 bones for today. Yeah, shit burgers, right. Not sure what that's all about, Brent. Yeah, Abe, 1.5 years is a short time frame. A lot of learning to do. You always think you know along the way, but then you realize the amount of information, you don't know what you don't know. And unfortunately in this business, a lot of us, most of us, almost everybody has to learn through a little pain. Michael, you can't turn those into a loss. Really. I mean, I'm not yelling at you. I just want you to not turn those into a loss. So is Tesla headed to 254? I have no idea. Doesn't look like it. Not at the moment. Whether it gets there later, I don't know. Again, that's one of those things where you say, here's a number, support or resistance, and it's if they get to a number, I would expect activity. But I don't know they will get to the number. That's the same thing we discuss every day. So when I read a comment that says, and I'm not yelling at anybody, when I read a comment that says, is Tesla getting to X? I don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. Somebody knows. It's in there. Somebody knows. Not me. Thanks, Abe. Yeah, I'm not for everybody, but when the light bulb goes on and what I start to say or anybody else starts to say makes sense to you and it makes you comfortable, then you are probably in the right place. But, you know, in the car business, they say there's an ass for every seat, right? So, you know, there's something for everybody. You know, I'm for some traders and I'm not for others. I get plenty of people try it out. They don't want to continue. They cancel out. That's fine. It's not for everybody. You know, I'll get a cancellation today, right? I'm just making it up. I might, but I might get a cancellation today, and I'm looking at it saying, "Where were you this morning? I mean, what are you canceling?" But it's not for them. They can't see what I'm talking about. There's certain people that just can't see it. They can't get it. They don't understand it. It doesn't look right. Whatever it is, I don't have a clue. But some people just can't see it. Never fails. Like, we'll have a great day, and I'll get a cancellation. But what are you canceling? But it's not for everybody. Yeah, I'm in the swing trade too. It's basically flat, unfortunately. They're trying to work up to the gap. That's all. Not going to get there today. There's nothing else there. See, now you got follow through, right? We talked about it before. It was bullshit until it's not. Now all of a sudden you got follow through. Now this looks like some kind of a top, at least for the time being. Yeah, they come down a little bit more today. Sure, they can. Anybody surprised that they found resistance at 370 to 372? No, of course not. Told you why I didn't take the trade before. It's fine. Doesn't matter whether it would have worked or doesn't work. I don't look back like that. I told you the reason, and I was comfortable with the reason why I didn't put that trade on. And that's fine. I had a good week, really good week. I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, I know it's very hard, Jeff. You just have to do it. I can't, there's no magic. You just have to decide to do it and stop doing the other thing. I wish I could give you like a magic pill to say, here's the pill, here's the bullet that stops doing the stuff you shouldn't be doing. But I can't do it for you. You have to do it. I can tell you over and over again, the red pill, right? I can tell you over and over again, but you have to do it. It's kind of like, it's different, but this is the only analogy that popped into my mind right now. You know, you take a pitcher in baseball and, you know, it looks easy sometimes, but in reality, in order to throw strikes, and they aren't just throwing strikes, the higher level they get, once you get to college and minor leagues and major leagues, you know, when you see a ball like that's on the outer couple of inches of the plate or off the plate by a couple of inches, that's not an accident most of the time. That's where it was meant to be. And you look at that and you say, well, how do they do that? I mean, you could take any other ball player that's not a pitcher, just a position player, and they can't be that precise. They're not pitchers. It takes a long time to figure that out. And you can't just you can't show somebody. You could take a pitcher and develop their skills, but by the time they get there, they have to already know how to locate a ball. So it's something that you can't just show. You have to be able to do it. And it goes back to the trick. You have to be able to do it. You have to be able to eliminate the stuff you shouldn't be doing and just follow along. Bad analogy with the pitcher stuff, I think, but you get the point. Just have to be able to do it. You take someone that's 100 miles an hour, if they can't throw strikes, it's no good. You could take every trade I tell you and make money, and then if you're taking your own and losing the other half of the time, what's the point? Okay, Paul, something for everybody. Took the long, so what? That's great. That was the other trade that's around the corner after you missed the short. You didn't miss the short, you decided not to take it. Don't look at it like you missed it. You decided, you made a conscious decision not to take it. It was there, it was up there. We talked about it before the market opened. It's trader's choice. You want to take it or not? You didn't miss it. You decided not to take it, and that's fine. Yeah, but it works the reverse, Terry, actually. And I think you know that. I think that's why you said that. Same, Chris, it's the same general stuff, but slightly different because they're different types of trades. I'm looking for a longer standing top or bottom on a swing trade, not just for a scalp with potential. So it is slightly different, but the same concept. I'm just looking for something from a longer time frame, generally. You know, when you look at, here's an example. When you look at a weekly chart, all right, let's say there's a price that makes a lot of sense on a weekly chart. And for whatever the reason, you have to understand that during the week, it's not out of the ordinary for them to spike that price, even if they close the week slightly below it or above it. It's a weekly chart. So it might take a couple of weeks for that particular, might take a day, might take a week or two for that particular price to grab hold. And that's part of the shakeout operation. That's part of the testing process. Think about it in terms of an hourly or 15-minute chart, a 10-minute chart. You know, is it that big of a deal for them to test the number for a couple of candles and then make a move? No. So the same thing applies to every chart. Acts and reacts the same way. So the swing trades, you have to have a little more patience. You have to give them a little more leeway. So that's part of the difference. I mean, I'm not taking a swing trade based on a 15-minute chart, right? Maybe taking it based on a monthly chart. Even though the monthly charts take a long time to play out, think about the one we looked at in wheat. That monthly chart had a lot to do with it. That's why I said I'm going to hold it for a while, because they take a while to play out. Profit in the pocket, never let the rest go bad, and I'm just going to hold it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I still got a base hit. So what? Yeah, correct, Mark B. And I understand what that is. I understand how that works. We all have those demons at one point or other, and I totally get it. And that goes back to what I've been saying. You have to do it. The other Mark B. No, sorry. The name got cut off. Hold on. I think it's the same. Yeah. What profound statement, Mark? I'm just curious on what hit you as profound. And by the way, Paul, you can't go to the crapper around the opening bell. You got to take care of that business beforehand. And I know you couldn't control it. Sorry, I couldn't resist that one. The fear of the unknown is paralyzing. Well, I don't look at it that way, Terry, because I don't look at this as unknown. There's a lot of unknown, sure. But what did I just say 5 minutes ago? I said symmetry coming in right here. And so there were a few pennies above 440.15. But if you heard me say that, and you take a look at these two red candles, you see what I was saying. And I said it, symmetry coming in right here. So that's not an unknown. That's a known. I'm just saying. The number to me was known. Symmetry was known. And the number wasn't even that important. The important number is that at 439.45, it was just the low that they were testing of this range. Think about what we said. Think about what we did before. Let's go over this one. This is pretty interesting. We talked about the reason why this first trade existed, because they ate time off the clock, they broke out, came back to test it. But isn't the bottom end of this range the same place that they didn't even get to the bottom, but they now tested in the bottom? Same range. They didn't do anything different yet. They're still testing the same area. Take it for what it's worth. This, and this is a zone or a range that they ate time off the clock before going higher. Now, was I 100% sure that they were going to bounce it at the top end of the range this morning? No, but I knew they could. And what was the other side? Down here or somewhere in between, right? See how that works? Yeah, nothing changes until it changes. That's exactly right. But you have to decide. We have to decide. We can only make the change. Yes, Terry, right. Until you start to believe in the concepts that I'm conveying in here, it looks like an unknown. You're right. I'm not going to be around if they do it, David. I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. I'm done for the day. Yeah, they came up short of 440.15. And again, that was a give or take, right? It was the bottom end of a zone. I don't know whether they're going to get to the bottom, spike the bottom by a few pennies, come up short by a few pennies. That's why it's a give or take. So the low was what? 34. No, 34 low? Looks like it's lower than that. Is that right? I guess so. Yeah, okay. 34 low against 15. That really wasn't close enough for the give or take. I wouldn't say that was close enough. Would not say that was close enough. How about a last call? Last call for alcohol, last call for questions. I'm wrapping it. I'm done. Great week. Great discussions, great learning. I'm starting my 3-day weekend. Just real quick, I'll stick around another minute or two. Any other questions? Everybody have a great weekend. I see them in there. Appreciate everybody. Same. Thank you. And you're welcome. I think that's it. All right, folks. Enjoy the weekend. Back on Tuesday in uniform, ready to go. And we'll do it all over again. Appreciate it. Don't do stupid stuff, please. Pack it in. Appreciate everybody. Enjoy and thank you. And you're welcome. This is going really well. So we'll just keep on keeping on. Take it easy, folks.